Have you ever been to an abandoned village? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today, and we're going to follow it up by taking a lovely walk along the Jurassic Coast. This is Tyneham, and the reason why it's abandoned takes us all the way back to World War II. Before the war, Tyneham was a small village, and people who lived here worked in farming and fishing, and lots of the families had lived here for generations. But in November 1943, residents were given just 28 days to evacuate their homes. It had been identified as a strategic location for military training, specifically for the D-Day operation. They were promised it was temporary and they would be able to return to their homes. A note was even left on the church door asking the soldiers to take care of their home. After the war, the government didn't give Tyneham back. Many of the buildings had been damaged, and it was still useful as a military training ground. To this day, Tyneham forms part of the Lulworth firing ranges. And if you'd like to visit, you'll have to check the .gov website to make sure it's safe to visit. There's usually no firing weekends, bank holidays, and during the school holidays.
As you're wandering through Tyneham, one of the old buildings you'll spot is the old schoolroom. It was built in 1860, and children between the ages of 5 and 14 were taught together here. In 1911, the Coast Guard station at Wheelbarrow was closed and many families moved away, eventually leading to the closure of the school in 1932. Out of a maximum capacity of 60 students, only 9 were still studying here at the time of its closure. But in 1994, it was refurbished to show what it would have looked like in the 1920s and opened for the public to enjoy. Tyneham Church dates back to 1297, with many additions and modifications taking place since. A full refurbishment took place in 2003 and a carol service was held here marking the 60th anniversary of the evacuation. It's a beautiful Grade 2 listed building and it's wonderful to be able to walk around. Just like many other parts of the village, it has many information boards to help educate visitors on the history of Tyneham among some very difficult periods throughout the ages. Tyneham never actually saw active combat itself, but it played a crucial role in preparing troops for major operations. And it wasn't the only village in Dorset affected. Places like Arne near Wareham were also evacuated during the war, but unlike Tyneham, Arne was eventually returned to the people.
We have been over to Tyneham before, but we haven't actually been over to the farm. I think when we were last over here, it was a really overcast day and you couldn't see a lot. But we decided to just hang a left after the car park instead of heading right down to Wheelbarrow Bay. And yeah, this is the farm, and loads of it have been kind of reconstructed, much like the theatre and the working barn, to show what it would have been like back in the day.
There is a large car park at Tyneham, but I would still recommend getting there nice and early because it can get really busy, especially in the summer months. Parking is just £4 by donation for the whole day.
So that's Tyneham. We're actually going to leave the village behind and head out for a lovely coastal walk now. If you're looking for something a little bit more gentle, you can just take the path about 20 minutes down to Wheelbarrow Bay, but we're going to aim for something a little bit more ambitious and head over to Lulworth Cove, which ends up being about a 15-kilometre round trip. The walk that we're doing forms a part of the Southwest Coast Path, and it is known for its iconic views and steep inclines. So these are the yellow markers that you need to stick to if you are doing any of the walks in the Lulworth ranges. And probably can't see the scale of the incline. There's people are in the distance. It's a big hill. made it to the top, and as you can probably tell, knackered. It's very, very steep. A couple of places are very loose ground underfoot as well, but fair play. There's a lot of people giving it a go today, and luckily it's a beautiful day, so good excuse to keep stopping and taking in the views and recover a little bit. Wow. With every steep incline comes a downhill. I do think we have got more inclines to come though, so as much as I'm going to try and enjoy this downhill, do you know there is more pain and suffering just around the corner. But these views, cannot get over these views today. They are incredible. So we made it to the top of the second steep incline and thought so far, on a day like today, it is most definitely worth the effort. We have previously done the Tyneham to Kimmeridge walk and there was torrential rain, hail, the visibility was next to zero. And I have to say, it's probably one of the most miserable walks I've ever been on. So I would be interested at some point to go east towards Kimmeridge again to redo it on a day like today. But yeah, it is quite tough. I think we're probably only about halfway to Lulworth at the moment. I'll pop the name of the All Trails route up in the video. Just so you know, it is graded as hard, but it does have like 4.9 stars out of 5 on the reviews. So clearly everybody else thinks that this particular walk is worth the effort as well. So really have to work super hard to stop my momentum. Again, just keep using the views as an excuse to stop fully. You can get round the other way, so you don't have to come the coastal route. But yeah, where's the fun in that? How pretty is this? So we've reached Lulworth Cove. We are over the east side of it. We are going to continue to head round on the southwest coast path, which will take us down to Lulworth village, where hopefully we'll be able to find some food. We're not quite sure what we're going to go for yet. We were going to see if there's a pub serving a roast, but have a feeling it's probably quite busy today, so we would probably have needed to book ahead. But either way, there is a really nice visitor centre down there. There is a cafe there. They had some beautiful looking Dorset apple cake last time I was in there, so maybe that's what we go for today. But yeah, always love Lulworth Cove. It always looks incredibly beautiful.
Lulworth itself is a great spot for things like water sports, and it's really family friendly too. And honestly, I actually prefer it to Durdledore. It's got more facilities, more places to eat, and it just has more of that relaxed fishing village feel. In the visitor centre, you can also browse the shop and pick up some local Dorset produce to take home with you. There's a large car park here at Lulworth Cove and another just over the hill at Durdledore, but parking can be pretty expensive, around £20 for the day. If you're visiting with friends, splitting the cost definitely helps, but otherwise, starting somewhere like Tyneham, like we did with the small donation, or even Ringstead Bay, which is free for National Trust members, can be a good alternative. Just be aware it's quite a walk to get here.
So we stopped for lunch at the Boat Shed Cafe, which is right on Lulworth Cove itself. We got there about 2 o'clock and they'd run out of most food. So we just had a cheese and tuna toastie, and then we stopped at somewhere just a couple steps down the road for an ice cream. But yeah, we're gonna start heading back to the car now. Probably still quite a long walk back. If you can see behind me, there is another big hill, which we are not doing today. If you take that hill up and over, that takes you down to Durdledore. Durdledore is absolutely beautiful as well, and you've probably seen iconic pictures of it. One thing I would say, it gets extremely busy, both here and Durdledore in the summer. There's normally a lot of people leaving a lot of litter. Please don't be that person. Please leave no trace. Enjoy yourself while you are here, but take your rubbish home with you. Up we go. I would say if you are not averse to a longer, tougher walk, then certainly park up at Tyneham and walk to Lulworth. Saves you the £20 parking fee, but the views on the way are absolutely incredible. It is so worth it. But also, if you're looking for a walk that combines history with those iconic Dorset scenes, then 100% do this walk. So we're almost back to Tyneham now. We've had an absolutely wonderful walk. It turned out probably around about the 16k mark. Again, if you're not feeling overly ambitious or you don't want to do that very steep, very difficult walk, you can come down here to Warbarrow Bay, which is only about a 20-minute walk from the Tyneham Village car park. So it's an absolutely perfect place to combine a little bit of history and some of those iconic Dorset views. I hope you enjoyed watching this vlog. If you did, please hit like and subscribe. It really does help the channel and it makes sure that you don't miss the next episode. If you'd like to recommend any other walks in the Dorset area for us to test out, please pop a comment below and I'll see what I can do about that. Thank you very much and I'll see you in the next one.